All right, what's up, everybody? Coach Joey Chaos here with Mongo Santino, and all the way over there in the corner,
hi everybody,
Jezebel Romo. Hey Jezebel, why don't you do me a favor and put your sound on? Make sure we are doing it. All right. Okay, so thank you for tuning in, everybody. We're Trainers Talk today, talking coaches with the New Age Punisher B-Boy. So B-Boy will be on with us at 8 p.m. We got let's see who's in the house on YouTube. WWE Quiz, what's going on? Also, Oak Over Heaven in the house. Good seeing you. Eclipse Lunar in the house. Good seeing you. Luke Maverick on YouTube is here. Good seeing Luke Maverick. G-Dub Videos. YouTube is in the house. Let's see here. Oh, we got all the way from India. So that's where WWE Quiz is from, is all the way from India. Good seeing you. Dane Burns is in the house. Good seeing you, Mr. Dane Burns.
And VJ, I can't pronounce the first name.
Sabatish VJ is in the house. All the way from India is watching us here. Charlie fucking Woo is here. Oh my gosh. Charlie fucking Woo. Good seeing you. All right. So Eclipse Lunar, Luke Maverick. What's up, Santino brothers? Good seeing you. Good seeing everybody. Hey, make sure. So we got. So if you have any questions, make sure to hit the questions in the comment section. We'll not only post them. I'm trying to figure out this StreamYard. Right? Yeah, we could have been posting the comments since day one. Yeah, so we just figured it out. Gaius Tantalus is in the house and he's drinking wine.
Salute, so am I.
Oh, Jezebel's drinking wine. What are you drinking, Mongo?
Lemonade.
I got the Modelo, right?
Right.
Heart of a champion.
There you go.
Oh, right here is the camera. There we go. Mongo, get in on it.
Go.
All right.
There we go.
Having one drink. Hey, Vinny Wasco is in the fucking house.
Oh, that guy.
The body guy himself.
The guy that doesn't do triceps?
The body guy. You know what?
Damn,
that is so fucked up that you said that. I actually talked to him. We were doing a Zoom yesterday, critiquing and reviewing his match. And that's actually one thing I said. I said, hey, what are you doing for triceps? And I said, hey, why don't you try the rope? And then definitely do the kickbacks. And then even do the bar. So he's been doing skull crushers and stuff like that. But I think it's just going to take reps. I mean, when I was, 15 years old to 20 years old, like I had no definition in my body. It took years to actually make the definition. Now, sometimes when I don't work out for a year, I still have the tricep or I still have the definition there, you know?
Let me ask you this.
What's that?
Did it take years or did you get some knowledge and then put it to use?
Definitely got some knowledge and then put it to use. So yeah, that's what I've been talking to Vinny Wasco. Vinny Wasco has been very instrumental this week on helping me with the online class. We actually just started this week. So it's been a great having his insight on everything that we're talking about. And we have a great group of students and potential grapplers that are eager to learn. And so we look forward to teaching them and taking them on the journey.
Yeah, anytime someone takes action, like the students have, their mindset's a little different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Alyssa Marino is in the house.
How's she doing?
Hi,
Good. Hi, Alyssa. How are you doing?
On Facebook.
Is Andy Brad Gaius Tantalas is actually shooting out at Charlie Woo, and then Charlie Woo is shooting back to him. Cheers.
So they're taking over.
Yeah. Eclipse Lunar says how big you are. I think he's talking to Gaius Tantalas because that guy is big, 400 plus pounds. Am I wrong or what? So
Find out momentarily.
Jezebel is in the house. Jose Alberto, good seeing you on YouTube. My friend Ozzy, Big Oz is in the house. And of course, Alyssa Marino is eating cereal.
What kind of cereal?
What kind of cereal?
I preferred Lucky Charms.
Fruity Pebbles.
Andy Brown, what's up? Andy Brown is in the house on Facebook. And you know what? We actually we've been just thinking about we've been doing this podcast, right? Looking to do content. And so today we're doing trainers talk with the New Age Punisher B-Boy. So make sure if you guys have a question for Coach B-Boy, we'll be talking about Level Up Pro Wrestling, Ground Zero Pro Wrestling, and see what B-Boy has been doing on this pandemic, on this time, the crazy 2020, and now going into 2021. So we'll find everything out what B-Boy's been doing.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So, hey, Isaac Martinez is in the house.
Oh, I miss Isaac.
Hey, what's your favorite cereal? Because Alyssa says she's eating something boring right now, and it's
Special K.
Special K. Special K is what Alyssa. What's your favorite? I think mine's got to be maybe Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran.
What's wrong with that?
No, I guess that's good. I don't know. My favorite would have to be Lucky Charms with like half a cup of sugar in it. That's like or Cheerios.
Half the sugar.
Yeah, I have to be able
You're
to
adding sugar to the Lucky Charms?
Lucky Charms or
Okay.
Cheerios. And,
I can see the Cheerios, but not the Lucky Charms.
and then the milk you got to toss out afterwards because I don't like the milk afterwards. It's gross.
Really?
Yeah, it's contaminated. It's been cerealized.
That's the best milk you can drink.
No, but I will drink a cup of milk with an ice cube on the side.
I can do that.
All right. Hey, you know what? We got B-Boy is actually in the green room or in the broadcast room. So we're actually gonna go ahead and bring him on since he's already here. I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll use our gimmicks, right, Mongo?
Right? No,
Yeah, we'll use our gimmicks, and so just stay with us, and we'll be right back with the New Age Punisher B-Boy. And we're back, and we're here with the New Age Punisher. B-Boy is in the house with us. How you doing, B-Boy?
Yo, I'm doing good, Joey. It's good to see you. What's up, baby cakes? I see you in the background.
How you doing, Thunder Buns?
Right, baby cakes, right? Mongo, that's Mongo's line, right, B-Boy? That's
Yeah,
Mongo's line. Like, what's up, baby cakes? What's going on? So, hey, man, it's really good to have you on. We've been doing this podcast, really just trying to have some content. We've been on this pandemic, at least Santino Brothers, we've been on a hiatus. And so it's just great to have you on, and we're going to talk coaches. We're going to talk training. We got a lot of people in our audience that have a lot of questions for training. They love when we do the how-to videos or even just explain some kind of training that we're doing at Santino Brothers or even in professional wrestling. So, but man, it's good to see you, man. You've been staying in shape. What have you been doing since this pandemic started?
Oh man, I wouldn't say staying in shape. When the first pandemic kind of started and everything like that, I was kind of happy about situations just because like I could have my body reset. You know what I mean? I could be mentally resetted too. But then, the depression kind of kicks in and everything like that. And I was in a depressive funk for a very, very long time. I would say maybe a month ago, I finally got out of it. But like, continuously like training and stuff like that helped me through it. My wife helped me through it and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard, especially with what's going on right now. But, you got to stay positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I totally hear you.
I hate to cut you guys off, but Ruby Ray's is saying Facebook is not picking up audio.
Oh, Facebook is not picking up audio, but is YouTube picking up audio? It is, right? All right, that must be an issue on maybe StreamYard's thing. We'll get that fixed. But man, that I totally hear you on that and being just falling in a funk. I mean, I can't lie. I try to put on the mask. But man, it has been a rough time. You know what I mean? It has been a rough time. I mean, for everybody. Closing for me personally, closing the school. So I totally know what you're going through, and just trying to figure out ways to, I don't know, continue life with this craziness that we got going out here, in the world. But, in California, man, we've been on a good lockdown for a good while, right? Yeah.
Well, now wait a minute.
Yeah,
Does
absolutely.
B-Boy live in LA County or do you live in Orange County?
No, I live in San Diego.
Oh, okay. So you're on a different type of lockdown than we are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean,
must be nice.
for California, I think all of California is the same, and everything like that. It's just that, we've been kind of blessed and fortunate to keep our school running. You know what I mean? And we're very COVID compliant. We have a lot of set schedules. We have a nurse that's on board who's like close with CDC, so we follow all the guidelines. I mean, we have Centos come in to, clean the school thoroughly. I mean, we just been kind of blessed where we're at. You know what I mean? Especially like it was heartbreaking because I love Santino's. I love your kids and stuff like that, and it's heartbreaking that you guys had to close down. You know what I mean? But you guys will be bounced. You guys will bounce back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I totally think we would, and also I always tell Sylvia and even Mongo this. I think, oh, man, we were ready for a break. And I think this is just the universe talking to me and saying, okay, well, here's the break, and so now you can come back. I'm ready to rock. But did you have? Because I was talking to Labranito, who does the Noki Dojo, and he was saying, when pandemic started, like they lost a lot of students. Just a lot of people were scared. Did that happen with you? Like, did you guys lose a lot of students, or how did it go down at Level Up?
It's kind of funny. The students that we were training stayed with us. We did close down for a couple months, but they stayed with us. And to be honest, we've actually gained more students than dropped, if that makes any sense. So pretty crazy,
Nice. I've been doing the online classes, and we come to the end, and I tell them, hey, we're still on hiatus, and I give them a list of schools, and definitely Level Up is the first on the list. And I say contact B-Boy, tell him you took the online class, and that way you can start your training and get it going. And because a lot of people are eager, for this to end, and we can start doing shows again and getting back into it. And so, but that's really good to hear that you're actually, you're still doing it. You're making it happen. You're crossing your T's, you're dotting your I's, and you're making it happen. At the Level Up training school. Where is the Level Up training? It's in San Diego County?
Yeah, it's in East San Diego. It's East San Diego County, which is La Mesa, California.
Okay, nice.
I would say if from LA, depending on how deep in LA, it's about a 2-hour drive. This is the norm,
Yeah, it is, right? Hey, especially with this COVID, right? And the stay-at-home orders, like, man, the freeways have been
beautiful.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more traffic now in LA, but man, I think maybe it was like, I don't know, April, May. Freeways were empty all hours of the day.
Oh my God.
What was that?
I said I was like, I could only imagine how excited you guys were.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely was. So, hey man, so let me ask you, you've been doing a lot of training. Who are some of the trainees that you got coming out this year that are top of the class?
Oh man, it's kind of funny because I really don't like to do like a top of the class situations. You know what I mean? I don't like showing favoritism. I don't like doing anything like that. There has been a couple debuts that have been going on, and with Level Up right now, hold on real quick.
Ruby Reyes is in the house.
Yeah, she came to visit me and wife and everything like that. But like there's been a couple debuts. So basically, before I get to the debuts, is that so I Level Up, with you can't do shows or anything like that. The only way that you can do things is like, studio films and stuff like that. So we kind of transferred our school to not only a school, but also a studio. And we do everything all in-house now. Luckily, I have a very good partnership with IWTV. And I pitched this idea to him about just doing like these studio tapings with only my students, because I don't see anybody else kind of doing that. You know what I mean? So I wanted to prepare my students for whether it was TV, whether any shows start to work, or whether it's just like a sort of like name value just to get ahead of the curve, so to speak. when things start getting back to normal. So I pitched that idea and everything like that. IWTV really likes the idea and everything like that, and it's going to happen in February. So we've been doing these tapings, and all the ones that have debuted have like exceeded expectations. Like there's this kid named Cameron August who also trained at the Lance Storm Academy, I believe it is, over in Calgary. Fabricio, Leo Caneto, guys like Sweet Robin Shaw, Jordan Cruz is also always there. Hunter Freeman's always there. All the locals and stuff like that. But if I was gonna say anybody, I think when things get normal and stuff like that, I think a lot of people are gonna be impressed, especially when you start seeing the kids and the guys that are improving. You know what I mean?
I totally look forward to that. That sounds like a great idea. Really, really working hard. B-boy over here at Level Up Pro Wrestling, working hard, to put over the students. Let me ask you, B-boy. How did Level Up get started? How did you start? Like, I know you've been training, for sure. But is this your first school? Level Up is your first official school?
Well, I think it was kind of like so when FCW was so going on with Gus Parsons and stuff like that, he was asking if I wanted to train some guys and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what, I would like to try it. I want to try it out. So it was actually Battle U that kind of was the brainchild of Level Up. You know what I mean? And a lot of my guys actually came from Battle U, like my graduates, like 8-Bit Lit and stuff like that. Sorry, excuse me. And it just kind of transferred, and then with Battle U kind of like, stopped and everything like that. I always wanted to get back into training, and I wanted to keep teaching and stuff like that. And an opportunity arose with Norris Jarman and his wife Amy, along with myself and my wife. An opportunity arose and everything like that. We are all half partners, and we opened it up, and next thing I know, we got close to like 35 students. We're endorsed by major people. It's kind of crazy how things are kind of moving,
Things. Nice. Hey, a lot of hard work, huh, B-boy?
A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
One thing that I would say, especially when it comes to training and being older and everything like that, is that you don't understand patience until like you're a trainer. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty crazy.
Right? Yeah. You want to strangle them sometimes.
100%.
You do.
You tell them. You know what I mean? You tell them. You coach them, and then they're talking in line, and then you ask them, why are you talking in line? And they go, oh, well, I'm asking this guy what to, you're asking day one guy what to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, sometimes you want to do that, but then sometimes, right, and you probably already experienced this, you get these students, you tell them once, and it's golden, and they do it, and it's magic. Yes. Yes.
I would say, like, with us being performers, I mean, we love to perform and stuff like that, but like there is no other feeling when you see like one of your kids, whether they succeed or they get something or they're on the right track. You know what I mean? I think that's more of a general adrenaline rush to me now than performing. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I totally feel that. Like, when these students, right, all because you go through it with them. You go through the entire training with them, and then when they go out there and they have the opportunity to perform live, and they hit it, and they hit that nail on the head. Yeah. You know what I mean? It is like a euphoria feeling.
Well, the pride, like a swelling in your chest for them.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's and I get it all the time now too. It's not like, because I've said, like a couple of people has had their debut, but I still get that feeling after every match that they do at the tapings. Or like I always used to get that feeling with 8-Bit Lit, who's my first 3 graduates. You know what I mean? And they're getting better and better and better, and every time, like, it's just you get emotional. You know what I mean? Because all the time that you not only give them, but they give you. You know what I mean? And I think it's like you said, it's a very euphoric situation. It's very it just seems like everything kind of stops, and you feel that you just did something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I have heard it throughout our entire careers. It's giving back, you know,
Yeah.
giving back to the industry, right? Because without you, you know, who's going to be down there to really help out, you know, San Diego wrestling? I think there needs to be, you know, just more heads like you and me to just kind of give back. And it's hard, right? It's extremely hard. It's not easy, you know, getting a building, putting it up, getting a ring, you know, and trying to brand yourself, make a name for yourself, and or make a name for your school, you know. So yeah, man, I commend what you're doing. I love what you're doing over there at Level Up, and making a go at it. And I look forward to seeing the Internet Wrestling TV debut of the students. I totally look forward to that.
I'm very excited. And then like with this when this project started happening and everything, I kind of told them the idea, and then like, you know, because everybody's kind of down of because of shows and you can't do them, and I told them this idea that I had, and all of a sudden their head was down, and then it's go, and it's like that, you know what I mean? Like their eyes get big, they feel, you know what I mean? It's the best thing to do right as of right now, and the safest thing to do, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Jezebel's got some questions from the people right now. Jezebel, go ahead and ask they got questions for Coach.
Okay. Aaron RH from YouTube is asking, how was your time at Lucha Underground?
My time over there was great. You know what I mean? I always say that Lucha Underground was a great opportunity, and it's a very, very good learning experience. You know, it was really surreal to kind of be in that type of environment, because as an indie wrestler and stuff like that, you're just not used to whether it's production, high value production, you know, vignettes, set call times, all this stuff, and it just kind of made me help me realize that sometimes you think that you're ready for something, and then majority of the time you're not, you know what I mean? But my time there was great. I wish I had more time there. I actually did ask for my release and stuff like that. But like the time there, like everybody that was there, you know what I mean? From the talent to the top tier, the office, and everybody's great. You know what I'm saying? And Lucha Underground was something that kind of revolutionized and kind of gave Lucha like a comeback. You know what I mean? Like guys like Pentagon, Phoenix, you know, even guys like Brian Cage and everything like that, Jeff Cobb, like these guys that were like major figures in the company. I mean, look where they're at now. You know what I mean? It's like Lucha Underground helped so many wrestlers that I don't think they get credited for. You know what I mean? And like I said, I absolutely loved my time there. I thought it was great. It was fun. I felt like an actor. You know what I mean? It was kind of cool. You know?
Yeah, hey man, you know, believe it or not, like Aaron Aguilera and myself, we were under contract with Lucha Underground. Did we ever get released?
I don't think you guys ever.
We just never got used. We got used one time.
You never got
I'm here with you, I believe.
What's that?
I think I was in your match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you were in my match.
Was this a tryout match?
Yeah, it was a tryout match. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a trial. Yeah, and we had a contract. We signed the contract, and yeah, they didn't use us after that. That was it.
And then we watched wrestling on TV.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, Lucha Underground had a great setup, and it's kind of I don't know about you, people, but it kind of reminded me of WSX a little bit. You know?
Yeah, 100%. It was definitely WSX. I just think the difference is, like, you know, the MTV stuff, they didn't really know how to film professional wrestling. You know what I mean? While Lucha Underground already had people that already knew how to film wrestling. You know what I mean? I just think WSX was great. It was like you said, there's a lot of similarities and stuff like that. I just think that there was more people involved in professional wrestling in Lucha Underground than WSX. You know what I mean?
More experience.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely
Just
more
wrestling minded people.
Mongol, hey, Mongol was on WSX with us, big boy.
Me and Mongo were in the crew, son. We were in the cartel.
Oh, old school.
Wait, was it the cartel?
Yeah, old school reunion right here.
I remember I had to buy so many.
That was like the greatest 10 days ever, right, B-boy? It was like 10 days and that's it. and then we're over. We're done.
It was fun. I mean, they had us at a hotel on Sunset Boulevard, and they paid for everything and it was like a 10-day, it was a 10-day work week, but at the same time, it was like a 10-day vacation too. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
Yeah, no, it totally was. I remember at WSX, and negotiating with Kevin what my pay was. It wasn't negotiating. He was like, "This is what your pay is," but I remember like getting my check and going, "Wait a second here, this is wrong." And usually when you say, "Wait a second here, this is wrong," they're shorting you. Am I wrong, B-boy?
No, you're not wrong at all.
And I looked at it and I go, like, they actually paid me more than I think they should have. And then I asked Kevin, I really did. I actually did this, right? Just collect the money next time and go. Yeah. I asked Kevin and I said, and he goes, "Oh no, it's not for each match. We're paying you for each segment that you're in." And so I totally remember that. And I also remember they gave us the per diem. Oh, and that was amazing. Yeah.
They did that as well.
Yeah, I don't know about you, man, but at that time in 2007, I thought WSX, I thought that was it. I thought we were gonna make it, like we were gonna go like big time or something like that.
It seemed awesome. It seemed like, I can't believe they didn't pick it up. But I think MTV at that time was more into 16 and pregnant or something like that. So they were more into the chick
and they
flicks.
didn't really promote it too much. That was the problem, because they were asking us to promote
it. So I also think when they were airing it, it was like weird air times too.
Yeah, it was. It was like at odd times, not like wrestler times.
Yeah. They actually aired the last 7 episodes in one go, because I think that was the rule. They had to have original airing or something like that.
Under contract, they had to show so many episodes.
Yeah.
So to break the contract, they had to fulfill their obligation.
Yeah. I mean, it's all big words and stuff like that. I'm just like,
So I have a question, opinion type of question for you guys, for both for all three trainers here. Mike S on YouTube wants to know, why are so many students nowadays performing backbreaker type of moves and hurting their opponents rather than doing them correctly? What do you guys feel about opinions like that?
B-boy?
To me, I just I have this rule. I level up, right? And I said, I always tell people, or my students, I said, if there's something you want to learn, let me know. Let me teach it to you, and I will tell you if you're doing it right. And you only get 2 chances to perform this move. You know what I mean? I said, if you're doing it right, and make sure that you're doing it safe. You know what I mean? So what I like to do is, like, if it doesn't look good, or if they hurt somebody on the first thing, they don't fucking use it. It's that plain and simple. And if they do use it, then they know they got to answer to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't think a lot of people, especially with a lot of fans, you know what I mean? A lot of fans think that a lot of wrestlers are getting hurt and stuff like that. To be honest, I'm seeing these bumps that people are talking about, and they're clean. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with what's going on. It's just somebody just getting in the ear of somebody, and then there goes the mob. You know what I mean? But if that does happen and stuff like that, I also think it has to deal with like proper training. I think if people try to do something that's out of their expertise or something like that, I think that they're not getting proper training, because they have to know where they're at, where their level, and try not to hit these moves that exceed their experience level. You know what I mean? That's my thought process on it.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned like these bumps, and like it reminded me of just like, I think it was like last week or maybe a couple of Mondays ago, Nia Jax did like some kind of choke slam.
Yeah.
And right, everybody, the mob got on her and was like, "Oh, she's unsafe." And it's like, that's my whole thing when I say, hey, if you want to be a pro wrestler, you got to be tough. And if you don't want to get slammed like that, then go play Xbox, because that was a legitimate slam. Yeah. Hey, right, B-boy, all bumps aren't created equal.
No.
Yeah.
No, like back in our day, Joey, like we always used to do head bumps. We would take neck bumps all the time. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys that you see on TV or all these, students and everything like that, they take one back bump and they'll go, "Oh my God, it hurts," and everything like that. If they saw some old stuff we used to do, it's a different time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Right, right. I mean, and plus, I think that's what pro wrestling's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like you devastated the person and they got up. And some bumps are doozier than others.
Yeah.
If Mongo says, "Hey, take the Alabama Slam," I'm gonna say, "Hey, brother, what if I could take a shoulder block?" You know, you know what I mean?
No, I
Or
know. I know exactly what you mean. And then it's also one of those things too. Like a lot of kids, when they want to be a professional wrestler, they see it on TV, and that's all they see. They don't understand the hard work to become one. You know what I mean? They walk in and they think they could get in the ring quick, and they do these tryouts and everything like that. And majority of them don't come back. You guys know this. They don't come back.
yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and it's like I really the only people that understand these types of troubles are trainers and stuff like that, because we know we see this when you walk in. So what I like to do before, if it's a potential student, is like I will have them come to the school, and me and him will have like a one-on-one, conversation about whether it's the program, the curriculum, the financial side, and then I actually go into depth and try to see where their mental place is. You know what I mean? And I mean, as a wrestler, or as a fan, or support from family, I try to go in depth just to do that, because I don't want to waste the other guy's time. I don't want them wasting our time. You know what I mean? And I try to weed it out quick, because I don't want to go through, months and months and months and months of something that is the same problem. You know what I mean? Then you're just wasting each other's time. You know?
100%. I totally feel you on that. Like we used to, right? I don't know how you do it, but at Santino Brothers, the first thing we would teach would be like bumps, right? Of course, that would be the thing. Now we don't teach it at least until 2 months into the training program. For one, I want the same thing what you said. I want to try to weed out some of the people that are the dreamers or the make believers and didn't really want to do this, but they thought they did. And then obviously the bumps are crazy. People can get really hurt at that. So I'd rather like have the people that are actually in the ring. And then so what we do is we teach them the headlocks. We actually teach them wrestling, right? We teach them the arm ringers or whatever the case is. Because you're right. I don't want to waste my time teaching people bumps and giving this skill away when they're just going to end up quitting. And sometimes the bumps themselves actually make someone say, "That's it. I don't want to do this anymore." Yeah. And I always tell them, and that's okay. Sometimes you'll figure out pro wrestling is not for you, and it's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to scold you because there's probably something that you do that I couldn't do to save my fucking life, and that's it.
Exactly. And I always tell people, because when I like when you do weed them out and stuff like that, they do get discouraged. But I always tell people, maybe you need to come back in 3 months, get in physical shape, get your mental capacity straight, get your mentality straight. You know what I mean? Maybe and it's just one of those things to where. And I also tell them there's a lot of avenues in professional wrestling too. So maybe they can't. Maybe they just don't have. They don't have it to become a professional wrestler. Well, guess what? There's announcing, there's commentary, there's reffing, there's camera thing. There's so much other avenues that you guys can take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, go ahead, Jezebel. Jezebel's got some more questions.
Okay, we have more questions, but I've got one question from me.
Jezebel's got her own question. Hey, type it in.
I can't type that fast. Okay. Joey, I met you early 2000s at XPW. B-Boy, I met you early 2000s on the indie circuit working at the Anaheim Marketplace. What do you guys feel about the wrestling back then versus the wrestling style they do now? I mean, what are your thoughts and opinions?
I think so. I always teach my kids this, and maybe Joy could actually chime in on this. I always say when it comes down to professional wrestling matches, there's three main factors. You know what I mean? It's visual, it's auditorial, and it is emotional. And if you could combine all those things and everything like that, like what I mean by that is the visual moves. You know what I mean? Like the cool little things that people do. The auditorial is like the bumping, the slaps, the things that attract. You know what I'm saying? And then the emotional aspect is the storytelling. I feel that in this crop of generation right now is that they're either one or two things. A lot of people nowadays don't have the three things. You know what I mean? They might just want to do all these moves and they just might want to make all these sounds, or they got these moves down and they got, you know, the emotional aspect, but they don't know how to properly bump right. You know what I mean? Like that's my main thing. You know what I mean? I think the styles, to be honest, the styles are really the same in my opinion. It's just that, you know, people are coming up with like little crazier stuff and more athleticism. And I will say that these crops of generations that are out right now have more athleticism than we did back in our day. You know what I mean? I think it's the realism factor that's missing. You know what I'm saying? I also think that it's also a lot of people choreograph or transition into things to where they don't look like they're struggling. You know what I mean? And it's just those simple things that I think separates, you know, somebody that has those two things rather than those three things. You know what I mean? I think also timing and placement and positioning, especially sometimes with the newer generation, because they're going so fast that it doesn't register a lot. You know what I mean? And and it's something that everybody learns. I'm not clowning this new generation whatsoever. I like everybody that's in this new generation has my utmost respect for wherever they're doing and where they're at. It's just my job to kind of help, because like now being a coach, I try to have somebody be the epitome of a pro wrestler and have each and every one of these things rather than one or two things now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Great answer, B-boy.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. You know, and of course, there's always something that's going to be certain. The old timers will always complain about the youngsters, right? And the youngsters will complain about the old timers, and you will become the old timer if you're lucky enough to be in this business long enough. You will be preaching, right? You will be. I'm a guy. I'm a video game guy who didn't come from a wrestling school, and would just go in there and lock up, whip you off, do a clothesline or whatever the case is. Now I'm over here saying, "Come on, kids, slow down." When they would tell me slow down, and I wouldn't listen. You know what I would think, B-boy? They would say, "Hey, don't do this move. Slow down. Don't go to the top rope so soon." And you know what I would think? In my head, I'd be like, "Yes, sir." Right? No. Outside, I'd be like, "Yes, sir. I understand." In my head, I'd be like, "Fuck you, old man. You're just telling me because you can't do the cool shit that I could do." Oh my God.
I think that's what it kind of comes down to. And you know this now too, Joey, being a trainer, is that I don't think we turn into those bitter veterans that you said. I just think we turn into somebody that we understand more now than we did before. You know what I mean? And I think we always grow, especially as trainers and wrestlers, you know. And I just think like we've properly grown, and we needed that time frame to grow, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell my students all the time, I say, hey, put that veteran's advice in your pocket. I get it. You're going to be like, fuck you, old man. This shit, like you can't hang with me. You know, I said, put it in your pocket. And I guarantee you, because this is what happened to me 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years later, light bulb goes off in my head. And I go, oh my God, I got it. Eureka. I understand what this guy was saying. You know, yeah, right. As I feel it. I feel it when I'm giving advice. They're like, shut up, old man. And I'm like, come on, bro. And I try to tell them and break that and say, hey, I know what you're thinking. You're like, shut up, old man. And I'm like, don't think that, because I'm trying to help you. You know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, and that was another thing too, especially like with you know, our generation, with Joey, myself, and Mongol. Like our generation, I mean, I'm sure you guys had mentors and stuff like that. See, I never had a mentor. You know what I mean? I learned a lot of stuff on the road. I learned a lot of stuff, you know, just by learning and observing and stuff like that. But I never had a mentor. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I try to do now. Yes. Just not with my students, but I'm sure like even, you know, Santino kids will tell you, or even like the you know, the generations that like I was working for, or like the working with and everything. They will always tell you that like I'm always trying to help you. I'm never trying to put you down. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's kind of missing. You know what I mean? Because it's your job to elevate someone that's lower than you. You don't need to be on the same level. You don't need to think this. It's our job to elevate people now, and that's the way that I see giving back. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think. You know what I mean? I mean, you might disagree with it and stuff like that, but that's the way that I think. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I feel that, like, of course, I had a mentor in Supreme, but at the same time, it was like the blind leading the blind. We started at the same time, so we didn't know the business, right? He was older than me and knew life, but we didn't know the business together. So we would always say, or at least I would, and I would say, man, if I could just find George the Animal Steel. I think he was an agent at the time in the late 90s at WWE. But I said, if I could find George Animal Steel, and I thought he was a retired wrestler, just gone and not doing it no more, maybe I can pick his brain and figure it out. And I try to be that, just like you're saying, Bebo. I try to be that for these students, right? Obviously, trying to help them so they don't make the same mistakes that we have. And try to steer them and be that mentor, right? Like those memes, right? Just be that mentor that you didn't have. And
exactly.
I think that helps a lot, right? And right, when coach is there, when B-boy is there, and you got a student and B-boy is saying, I believe in you. That kid, right? He's thinking, man, I don't think anyone believes in me. And that coach says, I believe in you. Man, they'll die for you. Man, they will go to war for you, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just great to hear that you're doing that and you feel that, because it's just so special. But you brought up like you didn't have the mentor. Where did you start training? How did you break into the business?
Well, I started training with this place called California Championship Wrestling that was running out of Vista. And it was I was trained by Rich Frisk and Corey Van Cleek, and these are guys you guys don't even know, you know what I mean? And then I got all my basics down and everything like that, and then Samoa Joe told me about this place called UPW, and Tom Howard was teaching at the time, and Tom Howard helped me kind of realize how to put structures together, kind of put a little bit more time into stuff that I wanted to know more outside of basics. And so I would say the people that trained me was Tom Howard, Rich Frisk, and Corey Van Cleek. And that's, I mean, to be honest, like I just went to a wrestling event here. Somebody was passing out a flyer. I called it like 2 days later, and the rest was history. I mean, it's like the simplest thing, you know.
Who was on that card that you went to?
Oh, that was it was Bash. I think it was Bash at the Beach, WCW. This is when Rey Mysterio came back from his knee injury, and he won the cruiserweight title when he came back. I forgot who. I think it was Jericho. He might have worked. I could be wrong on that.
Where was that? Was that in San Diego or Huntington Beach?
San Diego. It was the one that had. It's the one that had DDP and Karl Malone against Hogan and Rodman. I think that's.
Oh man, you got to go to the cut, man. You know what? Do you remember when they did Bash at the Beach in Huntington Beach and it was free?
Yeah, I did hear that. I did hear about that one time. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, man. I thought that was the one you saw because I was there, right? Hey, if it was free, I was there. You know? Yeah, 100%. So. Man, that's so awesome. So you got so you worked under, or you trained under, or with who was running UPW? Rick Bassman, right?
Rick Bassman was running UPW. The guys that were in my classes were like Samoa Joe, John Cena, Frankie Kazarian was in it.
Nice.
Dakota was in it. Prodigy. I mean, so yeah, man, Ryan Dakota.
Yeah.
So many, a lot of people was there. Like Kevin Quinn was there a lot. Christopher Daniels was there a lot. And at that time, there were also like a little farm league for WWE. At that, yeah.
I totally wish I wasn't part of XPW. We were like, you know, kind of like this. No, seriously. Like, I wish I didn't find XPW first. I wish I found UPW. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like, man, that would have been so incredible to go. They were doing the best shows, and they and I say this because they were bringing in, were bringing in Triple H, or they were bringing in like whoever. Like, I think Vince McMahon would do a video for them, and like that was like legitimate. And XPW, you can't take it away from me, but man, it was like I wish I wasn't so like us versus them in a sense. And I wish I just went to UPW, did some XPW, then went to UPW. I think it would have definitely helped me out. I think Damien Still did that. I think Damien Still did that. I always
absolutely. Yeah, he was there. Real deal.
Real deal.
Yeah. All the guys. I mean, plus, all the guys were like, everybody was a worker over at UPW. Like it was, yeah.
No, it was intimidating over there.
Oh, Jezebel went to UPW for a bit.
I went there for 2 training sessions with Aaron Aguilera, Shane and Shannon Ballard, and Melina. And it was intimidating being like a total newbie green girl walking in there because everybody knew everything and it was so phenomenal looking and it was just like so legit looking that you were just like, oh shit, Raj, where am I? So it was cool though.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Okay, I have some questions.
Yeah, Jezebel's got more questions, I guess. Here we go.
Okay, Frank Rosario on YouTube wants to know, have you ever or would you like to wrestle in the Philippines?
So the funny thing is that like I've done a lot of my career and I've actually hit the goals that I've always wanted to do. I wanted to go to Japan. I wanted to go to different countries. I wanted to wrestle for the top indie promotions. As a performer side, I had set these goals and everything. And the only one that I wanted to do left was actually wrestle in the Philippines. And there was talk about doing it for this company called PWR that was out there. And I was talking to him and everything like that. And they were gonna have me, and then COVID hit, and then and like I was even telling my parents, because my parents live out in the Philippines. I was like, hey, check this out. There's this chance that I'm gonna be out in the motherland. You guys can see me, do what I do and all that stuff. And they were all excited and everything like that. And it was like I was this close to finally, checking the last thing off my bucket list. You know what I mean? And I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, things happen for a reason, and hopefully everything kind of gets back to normal, and one way or another, I'm going to be back out there either way. So I really wanted to perform in front of the Philippines.
Yeah, we have a student, Kodo Hero, who went out there, wrestled Pro Wrestling Revolution. Then he got a fiance and he brought her out here to train with us, and she wrestles over there. But yeah, Pro Wrestling Revolution would be the one to go, man. You ever think about here's something that I think about being like a pro wrestling missionary and spreading the word of pro wrestling around the world to some of these countries that love it, but don't know about they don't know how to get into it. They never even seen a ring. We have this YouTube channel, and we got fans from all over the world, and they love pro wrestling, but there's no wrestling anywhere near them. And I felt like that's when a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, I really want to help bring pro wrestling around the world to so many of these people that they don't have it in their country. Can you believe that, B-Boy? Right? I'm not saying that Philippines doesn't have it, but there was a Vietnam, and Viva Van was instrumental in helping them get their first pro wrestling ring, or not helping them, but giving them the dimensions of what a pro wrestling ring is. And so Vietnam has their first pro wrestling ring. And I think that's amazing stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that I feel like that's what I want to do. You ever think about doing stuff like that, like bringing your teachings to Pro Wrestling Revolution, or just in Philippines and around the world, or in general?
I would absolutely love to do it, and I would be totally on board about with like that pro wrestling mission stuff. Like I see a lot of things on YouTube, and I always keep my ear low to the ground on a lot of things. And I always see like different countries, whether they're from Egypt, India, like Vietnam, these third world, I guess you'd call them third world countries and stuff like that. And they're doing all these things that they see from content, maybe from like Santino's, for instance, you know what I mean? Or something like that. And if like, I just feel like if they want to do this, they have to properly train, you know what I mean? And I think that would be a good way. I think what's his name? Shuey Chewy's doing that a lot now. He's like in Egypt right now and stuff like that.
Yeah, he is. And right, they just this week WWE did a show for India, right? They did it at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. in Florida. And they're wrestling. I don't know if you heard about this, B-boy. So they're really WWE's really doing a push for India, which makes me think, wow, if they're doing a push in India and because they don't do that for any other country where they bring in Indian wrestlers to wrestle Charlotte Flair or AJ Styles. Like they don't do that in Japan, they don't do that in the UK, right? Where they wrestle the top dogs right from the go. Like these, I don't know if they're rookies, but at least they're WWE rookies. And so if that's going to happen, B-boy, that means that the independents in India are going to start popping up, like even more so than what the Great Khali is doing. And so they're going to need us to go down, right? Because how many people are in India? And I even thought we have this, right? I think we had about like 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube. And then all of a sudden what happened? This match, Brody King versus Ruby Reyes, just started picking up like wildfire. And it got upwards to 11 million views, and it drew our subscriber count to 97,000 on our YouTube.
And it was an ass-kicking match.
Yeah, and it was an ass-kicking match. And I looked, who is watching this? Who are these 11 million people watching Ruby Reyes versus Brody King? And the majority of them are from India. And it made me think, Brody King versus Ruby Reyes 2 in India. Like, you know what I mean? That's the stuff I think guys like us should really think about, getting out there, because I think it's gonna it's pro wrestling is gonna go huge in India with WWE doing what they're doing.
I think India is just one of them good markets too. I mean, and India hasn't really been touched the way that WWE is touching it right now. You know what I mean? You can say what you want about WWE, but WWE is the smartest thing in the world. You know what I mean? They just know what demographic to go to. They know what country to go to. They know their teachings. They got this. They got everything. It's a machine. It's a complete machine. And like it's this isn't a lie. Vince McMahon is probably the smartest person in the fucking world when it comes to, like, I just think he is, because like who in their right mind would have thought this the way that he thought, and have the money to actually do it too. You know what I mean? It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, because it's like you always used to say, and this was like maybe 10 years ago. You go, oh, the Indies was a wrestling show. WWE is a TV show. Now it's beyond that. It's like beyond Disneyland, or it is about what Disneyland is doing. Just everything got their hand in doing so much stuff. You can't even compare. And then so that's why when you get the wrestling fans shitting on it, it's like this is totally different. You know, they're making something brand new over there at WWE. They really are.
Yeah, you know? Like I always think, I think WWE is always 5 steps ahead. They just don't rush things, you know.
Yeah. Hey, there's a question here on YouTube. Luke Maverick asked, what is your favorite promotion to wrestle in California?
Oh man, this is like fucking shit. I've wrestled for everybody out here. So I think like I just like working, you know what I mean? I always get this question a lot about like, who's your favorite guy to work, you know, who's your favorite promotion, all of this and everything like that. I just think anybody that gives you an opportunity shouldn't allow you to give favoritism. I think the opportunity means more. And what I mean by that is just like, if you just get an opportunity to wrestle and for any promotion, just be happy with it. You know what I mean? I love I just wrestle for everybody. You guys know this. I fucking wrestle for everybody, you know? And I think, I mean, I just like to wrestle, you know. I don't have any favorite promotions or anything like that, because I don't like I said before, I just don't like putting things like this. You know what I mean? I just enjoy wrestling, and if they give me the opportunity and I'm able to show out, then guess what? That's on the business side, then that gives me like a secure job with them, you know. And at the end of the day, this is a business, and I've been living off this business for a while, just on indie wrestling. And that's why I don't like saying, you know, favorite promotions or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. Hey, we have another question. Aaron on YouTube asks, "What advice would you give to someone going into the business soon? He plans on starting to train late this year or early next year."
Oh man, there's so much advice that you could tell people, man, so much. But the thing that kind of sticks out is just keep your ears and eyes open, keep your mouth shut. Um, I always say to be physically and mentally capable of understanding the sacrifice and the commitment that you have to make when you try to become a professional wrestler, even as a student as well. Um, I also say, also have a backup plan. I know this sounds like the stupidest thing, but get a bank account. You know what I mean? Make sure you have your benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. But when it comes to if I was gonna say it, just shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Keep your ears and eyes open. Be grateful. At the end of the day, be grateful for what you're doing, because there's a lot of people out there that try to dream this, and if you have that commitment value to make this dream happen and stuff like that, remember it's a dream. You see what I'm saying? You are living your dream. You know what I mean? So always keep that in the back of your head too, because a lot of people, get discouraged on certain things and stuff like that. But like, I mean, that's a normal thing. It's just, get your your mental stuff straight, your physical stuff straight. Be grateful, be appreciative, and be humble. You got to be humble in this business, because if you don't, you're gonna get right out the door. You're gonna get kicked right out the door.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey man, time flies. We're already at 8:46, so we got a lot of questions.
Okay.
I want to make sure to get some of these questions people are kind of eager to ask. I got Jose Gomez on YouTube asking, "How long does it take your students to graduate and have a debut match?"
All right, I'll try to actually keep these. I'll try to keep these answers quick so we can keep.
Hey, take as much time as you want, brother. Hey, if we answer what we can answer, no one's rushing the b-boy.
So what I like to do is I honestly do a 12-month program, and I divide it into three separate I divide it into 3 months, four separate classes. So I try to do things in a year. Now, during that year, if I see you progressing or just staying where you're at and stuff like that, you could actually debut in a first match, whether it could be 9 months to a year, or I have had guys with me almost 2 years that aren't at that level yet. I always tell my kids that you have to be patient, because I will not progress you until I know you're absolutely there. And I always tell them it can either be quick, or it's going to take a while. You know what I mean? And it's not me being an asshole. It's not me being a dick or anything like that. That's just the way that it needs to do. Because as Santino's owners and stuff like that, you guys have a certain pride. You know what I mean? Your students represent you as trainers. They represent the school. You know what I mean? So I instill that with my students too, and that's why, like, if they're not ready, I tell them, you cannot rep this brand right now. And I know that sounds terrible, but it gives them motivation to keep going. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When you end it that way, it gives them motivation, right? Because if it's just handed to you and it's easy, is it really that important to you? Is it even worthwhile? But when you earn it,
you appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Yeah, you totally appreciate it. So, hey, Tim Greer on YouTube is asking you, do you think there should be managers again in wrestling?
Yes.
I think managers are great, especially for someone that is that doesn't have like a lot of promo skills and stuff like that. They might have the greatest natural ability and they're great workers, but they just can't talk. I think managers are great for that. I also think that managers are a very good storyline-esque situation in the match, and it's also a different it's different. You know what I mean? I mean, back in the 80s and stuff like that, when I was watching and everything like that, you always saw a different manager, and the manager was always different on certain individuals. But the one thing that you notice is that they help kind of elevate their person, and I think managers are good for that. Especially if someone is struggling with promo skills and natural charisma or something like that. That the manager, it's their job. You know what I mean? I think managers are great. I from Santino's. I think fucking House and Body's amazing. You know what I mean? And I think he knows what he can do, and he amplifies it, and he actually helps the people that he works with. And from what I've seen, you know what I mean? I think it's a good thing. I think it's just one of those things that if you want to be a manager, try it out. You know.
Do you train advocates like managers, referees, commentators over at Level Up?
What I like to do is I strictly do the professional wrestling side. However, you know, there are people there that are referees, and I will, because there's only so much that I can say to a referee that I can to a professional wrestler. Because it's different trainings and stuff like that. You know, it's different thought processes almost. So I do have help with that. Like on the professional wrestling side, I could do that all day. On the manager side, I need to ask my resources. You know what I mean? For managers, I need to ask my resources. You know what I mean? Because I can only say so much, but I'm not a manager. I'm not commentary. I'm not those guys. I'm a professional wrestler, and I can teach you how to wrestle. You know what I mean? But again, that's the cool thing about Level Up is that we do have a lot of resources within our community, and they still can. We can teach you to do it if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, I always tell them, right? We do at Santino Brothers, we do the advocates class, but I always tell them, hey man, back in the day, this is how it used to work out. Everyone tried out to be a pro wrestler, and if you couldn't cut it to be a pro wrestler, then maybe you try to do something else. Can I be a ref? Can I do commentator? Maybe I could be a manager, but you try to figure out I still got to be part of this business.
Exactly.
And to me, that's how it was. Like, so if you're a commentator, yeah, the commentator could take a power bomb. He's just not that good at pro wrestling, right? You know what I mean?
Well,
No, exactly. And then and another thing too is whether you want to be commentary, whether you want to be a ref and everything like that, it doesn't I have this thing called Hell Month, and I'm sure you guys understand what it is, to show, to weed people out and everything like that. And I do it for a month. If people want to be referees, they still go through this Hell Month.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And everything like that. So, or managers or anything, they go through the Hell Month, just so they understand and appreciate even more about the business side of things,
Right. And you still got to break them in. You got to make them earn it. You know, people might talk smack about gatekeepers in pro wrestling, but man, if you open the floodgates, brother, you don't know what. Look at Mongol. Right. Hey, B-Boy knows. B-Boy knows. Hey, yeah, you got to make them earn it, right? I don't think we do it much anymore. We do. We still. You know what? I get, B-Boy. I don't know if you get it. We used to do this chop thing, right? We used to baptize them, right? Everybody used to, right? That's how it used to be. I don't know about you, but all right, this is how it was for me. Then we kind of started well, we're gonna go away from it, and these guys were like,
it was voluntary.
I think we even stopped it, but then it came to the point of everybody saying, when are we gonna get chopped, coach? I'm ready to get my chop. I want to be baptized. I saw the videos on YouTube, and I feel like they want it more than we actually want to do it.
Mm-hmm. I think with me, I'm very old school as well. You know what I mean? I'm very old school as well, and I'm a big believer in earning certain things. Chop lines to me are a necessity for two reasons. One is that you know how we callus your back for bumps and everything like that. We try to callus that back. We try to get it tough. And the other thing is, I think one of the reasons why we should do chop lines is it actually calluses your chest as well, and it shows your pain tolerance of what you can and can't take. And the second thing, which is kind of most important, is when you do these chop lines and you take them, it's a badge of honor. Now, as wrestlers, as students, we understand this. As fans, they think that we're beating them up or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's a badge of honor. It helps you, especially it helps you bring that brotherhood of your school, your teammates, your coaches, even more together. You know what I mean? And it's a weird thing and stuff like that. But like I said, it's a badge of honor. It's just if you graduate from beginners, you go to intermediates, and then In order to get to advance, you got to get this chop line down, you know, something like that. But I think it's a necessity, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people actually take advantage of these, you know what I mean? So I don't think you need to take advantage of it, but I don't think someone should take, like, you know, let's say 50 chops or some shit like that. I think it should just be trainers doing it. Shouldn't be nobody else. It should, in everything like that. Just, you know, give them some good ones, then have them chop you, or just tell them how to chop, and they can start using it and stuff like that. You know.
You know what? You know what the real rib is, and you know this. You know this, people. You know what the real rib is? So you got 10 students. I don't know. Maybe you got 20 students and it's going good, right? You got 20 students. You're like, everyone's going to take 3 chops, right? So it's you, B-boy, and maybe you're lucky you got 2 trainers. Maybe you got 1. But at the end of the day, B-boy is going to end up giving one dude 60 fucking, or not one dude, all 20 guys. His hand is going to give 60 fucking chops. And the real rib is, this shit hurts your coaches and trainers more than it hurts you. You're taking 3 chops. That's it.
Yeah.
We had to do fucking 60, bro, or however many people we got, and it kills our hand. It hurts.
And it could blow you up. Just saying.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hey, Alyssa Marino, we're talking about advocates. Alyssa came from the Santino Brothers Advocates class. She's asking, what's the worst bump you've taken over the course of your career, B-boy?
Shit, man. I've taken some pretty bad bumps and everything like that, but I think the one that actually hurt the most was a back suplex. And let me tell you the reason why. I got bruised kidneys off of this. So the guy gave me the back suplex, and he didn't shift that arm out, and I landed straight on his knuckles right in my kidneys. That was probably the worst pain and the worst bump that I have ever taken. And I've gone through thumbtacks and all this other shit, but that one right there still sticks in my mind as the worst bump that I've ever took.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, hey, those kidney punches are no joke. Maybe when you're watching a boxing match and you see the guy get a body shot and he goes down, you're like, get up, pussy, come on. Hey, you take a bump. I've taken a bump once where I don't know what happened. It felt like I got a kidney punch. And I was like, don't touch me. Don't look at me. Leave me the fuck alone right now, man. Like, that's no joke. That's no joke. We were thinking, man, it was going to be some table, ladder, and spot or something like that.
Dude, I know. Nah, I mean, you know, I've worked for CZW about 8 to 10 years, and I've gone through some crazy stuff there. But it was just, for some reason, like that. Those bumps that I took at CZW it's nowhere comparable to the pain that I just took that back suplex. I know that sounds terrible, makes me sound like a pussy, but fuck you. All right, seriously, that should hurt.
Hey, there's another question here, B-boy. It says, B-boy, what do you consider the most important thing you learned in the first year of wrestling?
Oh man, shut your mouth. Like 100%. Like, be fucking quiet. You know what I mean? It's like you were talking about, like being a veteran and stuff like that. And then like you'd be like, yes, sir, but in the back of your head, you're kind of like, fuck you, you know, and everything like that. You got to get out that. I say shut your mouth, and that ego and pride that you have, throw that son bitch right out the door, because then and start understanding humility very quickly. You know what I mean? And those are the three things that I would say, like 100%.
Yeah, 100%, right? Everybody, and then everybody's got a Twitter these days, you know. So I think that
Is it a killer?
yeah, well, I don't know if it's a killer, but that advice is incredible. Keep your mouth shut and your ears open, right? Because Mongol often says you can't listen if you're talking.
No, 100%.
Yeah, and if you're a student of this game, you need to be a sponge. And I tell all my students, get a sponge, get a brand new sponge. Don't get your sponge from your sink. Get a brand new sponge and put it in your gear bag and leave it there. So when you open your gear bag, it reminds you that you want to absorb all the information around you. You know,
I think that's actually very smart. The one thing that I hate, and I know this is, and you guys understand this too. The one thing that I hate is, like, if you're talking and somebody really wants to know something and you give them direction and everything like that, and then they keep over talking you. You see what I'm saying? Like they keep like it's just like, oh, but what am I doing wrong? Why can I do this? Why can I do that? Why what, like the why factor. And that's what it comes down to. Shut your fucking mouth and just listen. You know what I mean?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, hey, I get it. That cancel culture on Twitter, man. They're ready to say you can't talk to people like that. But I've never heard anybody on any kind of podcast or just in general, I never heard anybody say, I am so glad how light and easy my training was.
Yeah.
I've not heard one person ever say that in my life. You know what they say, B-Boy? I appreciate it. B-Boy kicked my fucking ass and taught me the right way. That's what they say.
I think it has to come down to that. I mean, especially like a lot of people, man, and I don't know if you guys get this, but a lot of people that when they come out of the service, whether they're in the Army, the Marines, Navy, or anything, they all when they get out, they like to be professional wrestlers. A lot of them do, but they keep that mentality of the confidence that they have in the service, and they can't transfer it to professional wrestling because they're already at a high tier on their service side, and they know, they're down here on wrestling. You know what I mean? And a lot of people can't kick the ego, they can't kick the pride, and that's one thing that I've noticed a lot lately.
Yeah, definitely. Man, it is. We already passed our time. We did have one extra question. They said, are we ever going to see B-Boy versus Chaos again?
Oh, wait a minute. You ready? Hold on. Let me show you something.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
You see this. Ugh. So, you remember that?
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit. Yes. What was that? That's now about 7 years ago.
7 years
7
ago.
years ago. Yeah. B-Boy and I went out there and tore the house down. Honestly, you know what I did? I went there in the match and I said, B-Boy, just let me know what we're doing. And next thing you know, I won match of the year.
This is one thing I wanted to say and everything like that, because I know we kind of talk about this like online, but now that I can see, I want to tell you this. I know that you didn't want to get in the ring because you just felt a certain way and stuff like that. Joey, you've always been good. You really have. And I know at that one time at CZW kind of discouraged you as well. So I wanted to give it back to you because I know for a fact how good you are, and you showed how good you were when on that night. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you actually actually believing in me and finally giving in when I said no, do the match with me. You know what I mean? And everything like that. I just think it was perfect. You know what I mean? Would I love to wrestle again? Absolutely. But I think that memory of us winning that, and you know, all your students there and everything like that, I don't think nothing could top that. You know what I mean?
I think it was great. You know, like I don't know what happened. I might have slapped you first and you slapped me back, and my ear was ringing for about 3 weeks from that. But I couldn't hear anything in there. I literally couldn't. But the crowd was so incredible. I remember like hearing the little rumbles, but I remember Rick Knox looking at me after I'm selling. I took a move from you or whatever, and I'm selling, and he looks at me and says, I don't know what's going on, but keep doing what you're doing. Like, oh man. And yeah, that was incredible. You know what it was, B-Boy? I often get asked that, and I guess it's true. I probably hung the boots up a little too early. But I still feel young. I always feel like it's there. If I want to wrestle, I can always wrestle if I want to. But you know what it was when I told you, I got a lot of people always asking, Chaos, I want to match with you or this, that, and the other. And B-Boy, I remember B-Boy asking me, and I told him, I said, no, man, I don't do that no more. This, that, and the other. I can't keep up with you. And B-Boy said, this is what you said. You said, don't worry about keeping up with me. We'll get through it together. Though that's the sentence that got me and it hooked me when you were like, I got you. We'll do this together. Because I always felt in pro wrestling like, Man, I always even teach my students this, the DTA shit. Don't trust anybody. Everyone's trying to get over on you, this, that, the other. But when you said that, like, it was genuine. And we've known each other for years at that point. But that was the sentence that got me. I said, I'm going to do this, man. He's going to help me, and we're going to go through it and knock it out. And man, it was incredible. It was an incredible experience. And I had no clue, and I had no idea, and I had no expectation that I thought that we would win match of the year with matches, right? There must have been at least 50 plus matches from PWG that year, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, I want to turn it around and thank you because if you didn't talk me into it, I would never have had that memory or even that award, you know, winning the match of the year. Because that, you know, I don't know about you, but believe it or not, it means a lot to me. I've been in a struggle, you know, with pro wrestling a lot. So that meant a lot to me, and to do it with you, even it meant even more. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I just think I think where we're at in our lives right now with teaching and stuff like that, and what we've done in our past, I think both of us are where we need to be, and there's only for you and myself, it's only going up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. And I try to be different than what I remember when I came up about like everyone shit talking other wrestling schools. And I do my best to embrace all the wrestling schools, not only around the country, around the world, but definitely around in California, because I feel like we're all Californians. We're all in this together as Californians and trying to make this stronger. And I always tout your wrestling school and let people know, like, hey, you don't have to try to commute 2 hours to Santino Brothers. Like, there's great reputable wrestling schools in your area, and you can go to B-Boy out there and definitely train, you know. So we're on with the New Age Punisher B-Boy. You can follow him on my Instagram, New Age Punisher, or Twitter at New Age Punisher. But it's been great talking to you, B-Boy. I really appreciate it. And I just want to give you this time. If there's anything that you want to plug, or if there's anything that you want to say, or anybody you want to put over, this is your time. You definitely have the time right now, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Obviously keep a lookout for IWTV. All the plugs and the promo codes are actually gonna start probably by the end of this week. Be on a lot of social forums and stuff like that. Please follow the school, which is Level Up Wrestling, LBL UP Wrestling, and that's on Instagram along with Twitter, and it's also on Facebook and all that good stuff. The one thing that I want to say, especially to a lot of wrestlers right now, is that I know it's hard. I know it's hard, and I know what you guys are feeling, and I've been through the same depression. The way to get out of your depression, in all honesty, is to remember why you first got in and just be positive. Things will get better, trust me. And use this time, to be honest, use this time to connect with your friends, connect with your family, you know what I mean, and everything like that. Because once you start getting involved in wrestling, it controls your life, and you forget sometimes about your friends. You forget about your family. You know what I mean? So just remember that things will get better, and always say that you love somebody. You never know, especially in this time. You never know when somebody might leave. So embrace your life, live your life, and keep dreaming. I mean, we're all in it together. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
That was
We're on with the powerful New Age Punisher B-Boy, coach of Level Up Pro Wrestling, owner of Ground Zero Wrestling in San Diego. Man, I appreciate you being on today. I really love this podcast. This is probably, I mean, we've done about 8 or 10 of them, but this is probably one of my favorite podcasts, and I appreciate it. And that was a powerful statement. Thank you, B-Boy. I appreciate you being on with us, my friend.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Anytime. I'm here for you guys. If you guys want me on again, I'm always here.
Absolutely. I think this is probably one of our most popular podcasts. I'm looking at the numbers as for watching, so we'll definitely have you back if you're willing to come back on with us. I would love to have you.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, guys. All right, you guys be good. Love you guys. All right.
All right, brother. You take care.
Take care.
Be safe.
All right. Bye-bye.
there we have it with the New Age Punisher B-Boy. That was a pretty fantastic podcast, I gotta say.
I loved it.
I really did love it.
I love B-Boy. He's one of the first guys I met in wrestling, and the guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Just watching how he grew up in this business is amazing.
Yeah.
One thing they don't talk about is seeing where the wrestler's at mentally, and I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Just to see, because you don't want to waste a lot of time, and you do want to figure out if they're here to, is this a dream or they're trying to get to the highest level? You know, because it takes a lot of work. Yeah, it's how bad you want it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's rough to be a professional wrestler, you know. And it's tough. It's mentally tough, physically tough, you know, emotionally tough. And I just wish a lot of the times, and that's what I tell all the students, I say, hey, you know, once you start doing it, I guarantee you probably have more respect for the wrestler that you thought was the shittiest wrestler to come out of wrestling school, right? Because this is a tough business. And
it's an easy business to judge. It's a hard business to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like you have a lot of people judging this business, but until you get in the fucking ring and you take those bumps and you go through the emotional turmoil that wrestlers go through, you're never going to understand it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when he was talking about just be quiet.
Yes.
Your first year of wrestling school. I just remember going to Slammers and you really couldn't say anything because you had Carlos. He'll take care of you. You know, that was your fear factor. So you didn't want to talk back to him.
Yeah.
Another thing, too, is when people watch wrestling, they're watching it on TV.
Yeah.
And it's actually the opposite. So they're like, no, it's the right arm. And it's like, no, they're doing it from the left arm.
Yeah.
You're watching TV.
Exactly.
So how are you going to tell me, you know? So it's.
I don't know. I've been through the Army and I've been through wrestling. And basic training, to me, is equivalent to your first year of wrestling. You know, obviously, it's a little bit different training, but it's the same thing. It's like you're trying to absorb fucking everything. It's all in how mentally you're going to prepare for it.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's either which way, it's going to fuck up your body, whether it's the Army or the fucking wrestling ring.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were on just with the New Age Punisher B-Boy, trainers talking coaches here tonight. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure to tune in this coming Tuesday as who we having on, Mongo?
Who we having on?
Who do you know? Yeah, Slice Boogie's going to be in the house on Tuesday. So make sure to tune in this coming Tuesday at 8 p.m. And then we have Dom Kubrick the following Tuesday. So we'll be talking to him. And hey, that was a great podcast. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip.
Double dip.